Hey, what's up everybody? In today's video, we're gonna be doing a muffler delete, just completely deleting the muffler on the 2016 Volkswagen Passat that you guys should be familiar with by now. We've done so many things too in the last year or so. We're gonna just do a muffler delete. Now this is gonna be a two-part, it's gonna be a two-video segment. So the first video is gonna be me deleting the muffler, and we're gonna drive around with that. Here's some sounds before and after, what it actually sounds like, so you guys can have a clue to judge for yourself. Now, this is completely stock. Yes, I do have an air intake in there, which gives you that good turbo sound, you know, a CTS turbo air intake. We're gonna do the muffler delete with all stock pipes, everything's stock. I don't have a down pipe yet or anything like that. It's all stock, so you're gonna get a real life situation. I'm gonna give you some measurements to show you what you're dealing with on the 2016 Volkswagen Passat TSI, because everybody's up in the air about, oh, what size is the, what size are the pipes and this and that. So we're gonna eliminate all that today. But we're gonna get this muffler deleted, and then the second video is gonna be, I'm just waiting on parts. That's why I have to do it in two sections. Plus it'd be a little long for you guys to keep your attention. We're gonna be installing a performance muffler just to give me some more sound, some deeper sound, some raspy sound, throaty sound maybe. But I'm not, as you can see, I'm not a young kid.
So I don't want to sound like a bunch of mosquitoes or like a trombone going down the road. It's just not my style. I'm not against it. It's just not my thing, you know? I want a nice, we are dealing with a 4-cylinder here, people. Let's get real. Sometimes we got to get real. Sometimes we want to make it, you know, but it's not going to be a V8. I promise you. It's not going to be like my Hemi at all. Not even close.
But I do want to hear something when I go under bridges, when I get on it a little bit on the interstate, or whenever I decide to get on it, or maybe even a cold start, just have a little extra punch to the car. And here's some more of that turbo sound.
Right now it sounds like a Jetsons mobile. You know, it's all factory, it's all stock.
So we're gonna find a point to cut this muffler off. I think I have an idea. I think I found a little spot that we're gonna start at. We're gonna cut that off, take it off the hanger, take it for a drive, hear what it sounds like, and then come back for the next video, which will be, the part should be here in a couple days. We're gonna put that together and check it out when I put the new muffler on. So hopefully after watching this video, you'll have the confidence to do this yourself. I'll do all the measurements for you. You can just copy what I did if you like it. So easy enough. Let's go. So here it is. Hopefully you're familiar with it. The 2016 Volkswagen Passat Turbo. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna back it up onto some ramps, some RhinoRamps. Those things are great, by the way. Get the back end up in the air. It should give us plenty of clearance to get down there and move around. So we don't have to use any jacks or jack stands, but if you don't have ramps, you're gonna have to use some jack stands, which, you know, I've done it for pretty much everything else. That's not a big deal. First, I'm gonna go over some measurements so you guys know for the future what you're gonna be dealing with when it comes to sizing new stuff up that you wanna put on this. And I'm sure when I got out of the car, you guys heard those, the fan blowing really hard. Well, I'm in Houston, Texas. I don't know if you can see the sweat here already. My shirt's a little wet. It's, we're having a heat advisory. It's like 117 degrees heat index right now. So this is tough. This is tough. But I'm gonna get this job finished. Let's get under the car. Let's take some measurements. I'm gonna show you the size pipe that you're dealing with. Now, typically, you know, yeah, it's like 2 1/4, but it's a little bit off. I think it's like metric or something. It's slightly less than 2 1/4, but I'm gonna show you the measurement so you know it's official. You never see this stuff. You never see this stuff for this car. So I'm gonna put it out there today. Also, I wanna measure the opening where the exhaust tip comes out. I just have the factory exhaust tip. I wanna measure that so we know what size potentially exhaust tip at the end of the day that we could put on this thing. But today, I'm not gonna run a straight pipe out. I'm just gonna cut the exhaust off and just let it hang there just for a couple days, a few days max. It's not gonna hurt anything. It's not gonna go anywhere. It's not gonna put fumes into the car because it's so far back. It's underneath the trunk. Once I get the muffler and some elbows and some reducers and all that stuff on the next video. Then everything will be complete all the way out to the end. And one more thing, probably the most important thing, at least for this channel, if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. We've had a really good time doing this. I've learned a ton of stuff. Now I have basic, car knowledge. I mean, I've had cars, I've worked on cars for years and years, but I'm not a certified mechanic. I'm just like you guys, a DIY, do it at home, do it yourself. But I try to do it the right way. I go through trial and error to deliver the best method I possibly can to you guys. So yeah, it's been a good year. We've done a lot of good things. If you'd consider subscribing if you're new, hit the bell, hit a thumbs up. That just helps things out. All right, appreciate it. Let's get the job done. So I just think it's important that this is documented. I have a digital caliper here. I'm going to measure the diameter, the outside diameter of the exhaust pipe, which I said it's 2 1/4, but I just want to see, I want you to see me verify that. Because a lot of people, don't know. I'm going to get this thing measured, use the digital caliper, and show you guys how that works. All right, let's measure this opening, because this is the factory pipe here. That's an oval pipe, so we're not going to measure that. That doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. We're going to measure this distance here to see what size we can get in here. So let me reset this. Okay. The widest part, about the middle, I guess. All right, it's 5.8 inches if you can't see that. That's what it is, 5.8. So that's a pretty good, I think a 3 or 4 inch max would fit in that perfectly. It wouldn't get too close or too hot. So we know that, let's write that down. Here we are. That's the back of the car, that's the muffler. It's kind of big, I measured it. It's like perfectly square. It's 15.5 by 15.5 roughly. It is rounded, but that's what your measurements are. And you have a little bit more room inside for a larger muffler, but I'm trying to go smaller. Now this is the pipe that goes into the back of the muffler. It runs up and goes straight back into the mid muffler right there, which is ridiculous. That's like a resonator / muffler. That might have to go eventually as well, but it kind of keeps you from having that irritating drone sound inside the car, like on the interstate. When you're trying to listen to the music or talk on the phone, it can be irritating, but that just all depends. We're going to test it as we go. That's why we're doing the muffler delete first. It's called a lap joint clamp, and that's what I'm going to be using throughout mostly. So I'm thinking that's a straight part right there going up. If I can cut somewhere in the middle of that pipe, let me back away, the middle of this somewhere, just straight, then I might be able to tap into that and get this angle right. But that's in between a 45 degree and a 90 degree. I tested out a 45 degree just for fun, just put it up against it. It just wasn't enough. So I have a 90. I'm going to mess with it and see if it'll work, because I can always move this from side to side once I get this off the hanger. Speaking of hanger, that's the hanger. The new muffler is not going to have a welded piece to put on the hanger. So I'm thinking of unbolting that hanger right there and moving it and hanging it off the pipe here at the end. So we'll see if we've got a nice place to do that. That's another situation. Let's get our measurement. There it is, 2.19. So that's basically 2 1/4, just slightly shy of that, but that's all we have to really work with. So we're going with 2 1/4. Now you know the size. I've gotten that measurement 3 times. You just didn't see me do that. So that's the size, guys. It's out there. All right, I think I've kind of decided. I'm going to cut it as close to this weld as possible, because the 90 is not going to work either. I might have to get some flex pipe, and I suck at welding, but today's video is all about a muffler delete and hearing what it sounds like. So I'm going to put the cutter right here. It's just a tailpipe cutter, exhaust pipe cutter. Looks like a set of pliers with a chain on it. I'm going to put that there and just cut there. But in the meantime, I'm going to put some PB Blaster or WD-40 lubricant on this hanger, it'll help make it easier pulling it out of there. Now let's listen to this before the muffler delete. I'll keep my mouth shut. Here we go. That was very unsatisfying. As you can see, look, I told you, it's hot, but extremely unsatisfying sound. There is no sound. You could probably hear the whoosh of the turbo. You could probably hear the turbo whoosh. That just was not fun. It's not even, I don't know what that is. It's nothing. Let's make it something. Let's cut this muffler off. This pipe cutting tool cuts very, very straight. It's the least expensive way. I think mine was like 24 bucks. You can get them for like 15, or you can spend 50 or 100. But this one works great and it cuts it very straight. So get you one of those. And as you can see, I grabbed a screwdriver to take the muffler off of the hanger, but I'm gonna move it anyway. So I'm giving up on this. People, it's a 13 millimeter. How about that? We're going all in. I'm gonna do it anyway, so I might as well just do this. Look at that. That's power, baby. There it is. All right, let's try to shake this muffler loose. I'm gonna move the camera. There it is. It's out. You know what? It made much more sense. I could fight that on a workbench instead of trying to do it upside down underneath the car. Yeah, I just took those two bolts out because I'm gonna relocate that bracket anyway for the new muffler. But that's it. Little square Volkswagen muffler. Now I'm excited. So what we've got here is, that's what I have. It's not hanging on anything. It's solid. So it's held on by all that piping down there. But that's it. It's pretty much blowing straight out. You guys ready for a sound check? I don't know. I don't think it's gonna sound pretty, but I think it'll be all right. Let's sound check it. After losing about a gallon of water here, I'm gonna have something to drink, but we're gonna take it for a drive. I'm actually quite surprised. That's why I'm glad I'm sharing this with you. It's a first for me, maybe a first for you. We might end up having to move the resonator. I'm gonna drive on it for a few days, and I'm still deciding on a couple parts, but a lot of the connectors and things are on their way. So that gives me time to kind of, if I needed to make some adjustments to what I've ordered or I'm gonna pick up at the store, that gives me some time to decide. So I'm gonna drive around this on it for a few days and see how I like it. But it's not that bad. Let's take it for a spin real quick, get a good idea of what it sounds like on the road. All right, I got something to drink, washed my hands a little bit. It wasn't that bad of a job as far as being dirty or anything. It's just you're upside down, it's not bad. But I'm gonna drive off these RhinoRamps that I'm on right now. And I would say that we'll draw a conclusion after this drive here as far as if I'm gonna get rid of the resonator or not. That should make it really loud. But by running a pipe all the way back to a muffler, a performance muffler should meet it kind of in the middle and give it a nice rumble. But I don't know. Let's check it out. All right, we're turning onto this little parkway. I can get some speed. Let me roll the window down a little bit. You know, I'm surprised. It's a really low, deep sound. The whistle was the turbo, but anyway, it's not loud at all. Like, at all. When you're at like cruising speed, you hear a little rumble, kind of like a helicopter, but it's surprisingly mild. Like, I don't know. I feel like I just poked a couple holes in the muffler or something and it has like an exhaust leak. But no, the muffler's gone. Straight piping it all the way from the resonator. So I don't know, man. I would say let's tune into the second video. That's when the decision is going to be made. That'll be my next video, just in a couple days, few days, as soon as all the parts get here. They said Saturday. It's a Tuesday right now, but you know how that goes. But guys, if you would subscribe, hit that bell. As soon as you get notified, you hit that bell, you'll get notified when that next video comes out on the completion of this project. So you can see I did it in 117 heat index in Houston, Texas. Yeah, I got sweaty, but hey, it's good for you. And I didn't break any knuckles or get any cuts or bruises or scrapes. It was pretty cut and dry, pretty easy. But now we know what we're working with and we know what we're dealing with. I could drive it around like this all the time and not be irritated. The only thing that's irritating about it is I would prefer a much more fine-tuned sound than what I'm getting. It's not bad though. You hear that whistle from the turbo, yeah, and it's all good. But hey, subscribe for the sweat today, and I appreciate you being here, and we'll see you on the next one.